What's up, ADOS and our allies? You know who it is. Angela Nirvana, your hostess with the mostest here on the Friends of ADOS TV channel, bringing you those ADOS hot topics and telling you all about the way I see it, family. What's up, Samantha Angelique? ADOS LA in the building. How you doing, sis? Thank you so much for joining the live. I'm going to give people a few minutes to join the live while my illustrious, amazing, incredibly talented brother, Robert Sine, you can check him out on CD Baby, plays in the background. I want to start with talking to my church family. I know you see me in rare form over in this space, but the stakes are really high. Yes, we absolutely understand about the I am within each and every one of us. What's up, Don Page? Triangle ADOS in the house. Thank you for joining the live. I understand about the God within each and every one of us, family, and I know these principles. I live these principles. I show up as the Christ on every show. I see and behold the Christ in each and every one of you at the end of the show. But this is my calling. This is what I've been called to do. And I don't want my church family to be offended. The other day on the chat, one of my church family members was talking about prayer. I didn't know that was coming from my church family member. So I want to apologize to you if you were offended in any way. But this is what I've been called to do. And I do it with a lot of passion and conviction. I'm going to try to contain myself. I probably need to what's up, Kunta Naya Maba? Let's do it, sister. I hope I didn't botch your last name. I try to keep my composure, and maybe I should take a breath before I come and do these shows because I go all the way off. I don't mean to seem like the angry black woman. I don't know why I come off as an angry black woman, but what I do know is that riding hard for ADOS rubs people the wrong way, even ADOS. Yeah, that's what I've come to learn in this space, just even fighting for ADOS. Everybody else has permission to be self-interested. But how dare I step out of line and ride hard for ADOS, our very own people, because that's what we've been conditioned to do since the time we were dragged over here in chains, had to put white folks on the tit. Everybody's on the tit. So you see, when somebody like the ADOS movement tells it like it TI is, it's rubbing black folks in the nation in the wrong way. They don't understand this predominant Gen X, Millennial, Gen Z, who has been left out, okay? We have been left out of access to the white capital that our ancestors created, that boomers have benefited from, right? They got to benefit from an affirmative action. Let me say hello. Trey Lincoln, how you doing? Welcome to the live. Thank you, fam, for coming on the live. I'm so grateful. Let me say this while I'm on that topic. I am grateful that I have found my tribe. I am grateful to Yvette Carnell, Antonio Moore. What's up, Nikki Clinton? Thank you for joining the live. Kim Kafab, Menefer, Shep Sutera. Thank you for joining the live. I hope I didn't botch up your name. I love you, Black. I love you, Strong. But I want to just thank Yvette and Tone. You know, I know that each and every one of you felt alone in this passion that we have for ADOS. But through Yvette's teachings, we've been doing this let me speak for myself, since around 2014. And she has taught me about ADOS and how we factor into the politics of this country that our ancestors built with their lives. I am forever grateful to her because guess what? She put me in touch with some of the most beautiful, most brilliant fellow American descendants of slavery in this country. I have found my true tribe in this movement. And I want to thank you guys because I take a lot of heat, as do you, right? Like each and every one of us are putting our lives on the line to go hard for ADOS. They do everything they can to tear us down. They disparage us at every turn, call us Russian bots, call us right wing, because when this force of nature called the ADOS movement gets in your face, you know you have been handled and dealt with. We are not going to allow you to play these games of benign neglect. We're not going to allow you to get away with incarcerating us and then asking us for our vote. Like, we're going to do that work, and we're going to give you the work. And so it's rubbing my church family the wrong way. It's rubbing fellow friends in my Facebook the wrong way. Folks want to call me xenophobic. They want to call me pro-Trump. They want to call me sick. I'm sick because I love ADOS Black and Strong. Some folks want to charge me with sensationalism. No, I happen to have a 16-year-old daughter that I got to leave this crap hole to. And I, like everybody else in this movement, is doing everything in our power, putting our time, energy, and resources into making sure this space that their ancestors created with their lives, all of the wealth that all of you eat from, as we are in the fight of our lives to prevent from becoming the permanent underclass. I'm trying to make sure if I don't get the check, that she gets the check in the trillions over multi-generations. We didn't ask to be here. We're not Black immigrants. We're not people of color. We're not minority. We're not even African American. We're really American descendants of enslaved Africans is who we are. Okay? We're not Black immigrants. Okay? In this country, our government is who we have a beef with. But we're not going to apologize to any of you for riding hard for ADOS. If my telling the truth hurts your feelings, you are free to leave my feed. That feed says Angela Nirvana, which means I get to say what I want, when I want, how I want. You are free to block me and exit my feed if you get your feelings hurt. Because you got to ask yourself, are my feelings hurt because of a personal attack? Why are my feelings hurt? Because she is demanding, as is the ADOS movement, tangibles over symbolism in exchange for our vote. You got to check in with you. Because apparently, offense has some place to land within you. It's not my circus. It's not my monkey. My job is not to make you comfortable with the truth. My job is to deliver ADOS those reparations and that Black agenda in exchange for the vote that we are owed for slavery, Jim Crow, all together now, accrued ongoing systemic racism, oppression, and disadvantage in the country our ancestors built with their lives. We are here like that steady, silent drumbeat. And we're not going anywhere. We're growing, as a matter of fact, all over the country. So, with that said, I apologize if you take offense. Church family, fellow friends, fellow family, get off my live, get off my feed, and don't mess with me. Don't come for me, and we can keep the peace. You are free to block me. I won't be offended. I won't be offended. I love you, but I understand if you have to check out because you're seeing Angela Nirvana in rare form. Well, Jesus upset the money changers. He wasn't having it. Nobody wants to talk about the radical Jesus or the radical Martin. Nobody wants to go there. Everybody just wants it nice and comfy and cozy to make white folks comfortable, to make immigrants comfortable. Well, that's not who I am. That's not my job. I'm not here to assume the lotus position. I am the solution. You are the solution. Okay? None of this gets done. God works through us, you see. I tell you every time after I close a live that you are the face of God, you are the voice of God, you are the body temple of the Spirit of the living God. So if any of this is to change, it's on you to change it. So I take that seriously. When God put this calling on me, I tried to run from this, as did most of my comrades in this live right now. We tried to run from this. Who wants this? This is a heavy weight. We don't sleep. Do you understand me? This movement takes cat naps. Because when you're about that community collective upliftment, it hurts you like somebody's ripping your heart out your chest to see your people on the bottom, to see them dying disproportionate from COVID, to see them being impacted by COVID disproportionately, to see them losing their jobs, to see that they are 50% of the homeless families in this country, to see that they're 90% on Skid Row here in LA, to see that we have no social capital at the tables, can't get jobs, to see that white high school dropouts can get jobs and have more social capital than our college degreed, who are strung out on a mound of debt, but need 3-4 jobs just to meet with the debts after they graduate because they can't find a job that pays, a wage that makes them American. I'm not even talking about a living wage. I ain't talking about no $15 an hour. Who could do what with that in this country, given the cost of living anywhere in this country? Mofos act like they got a monopoly on existential matters, shoehorning in our politics. Absolutely, Kim. Lord, I don't know what I did to get you up there, but let me hide you. I think, Lord, I'm learning this app, y'all. It allows me to be live in several places at one time. So I'm gonna get to you guys' comments. I'm gonna leave enough room to do that. But yeah, let me get off my soapbox. Let me just finish that thought. I'm just tired of seeing us on the bottom struggling to be American when we were here before America was even formed. 1619, we were dragged here in chains. Africa both sold us and we were stolen. Okay. And now here in LA, their median income is double that of ADOS. We're going to get into it. So yeah, the subject of today is unflattening blackness. Now, I want to do a disclaimer because folks are quick to call me xenophobic because I keep bringing this topic up, but it needs to be had. You see, folks want to live their nice, cushy, comfortable lives, but as long as ADOS is uncomfortable, I got to bring the pain. Okay? I must tell it like it is. I've learned from the best. Yvette Carnell, oh my God, she is everything when it comes to the data, to just the way she puts it together in her very wonderful Georgia country way. I just love her. She keeps me laughing through the tears of how dreadful things are for us in this country. Check her out at Breaking Brown, okay? uh, every, I want to say Mondays and Wednesdays. And then she does book clubs once a month. And I kind of took this up because of her. She inspired me to do this because I felt like after watching her, we need more voices. And shout out to all of ADOS who have started your shows and are out there spreading the word and getting folks informed. But we got to talk about this immigrant issue because we've been sold a bill of goods. This country is weaponizing Black immigration against ADOS to mask our failure. You see, although Black immigrants comprise about 15% of this country, to ADOS is what, 85% by now? They are doing far greater than we are as a people. As far as I'm concerned, we were their reparations, right? We were the ones who were dragged here. They had a choice after the 65 Immigration Act to come here. They knew what time it was. They knew about the racism here. Why are they owed for that? Because they were fleeing more desperate situations in their own countries. So whatever they had to face here was a far cry better than what they were facing in their own countries. And what many of you fail to realize is that they came over here with wealth position, especially the African immigrants, which is what I'm going to, by and large, talk about with you today, because I'm going to be pulling from The Color of Wealth, Los Angeles. You can probably look up your city and pull it up for your city to find out the stats and how much better Black immigrant life is in your city and in your state than the ADOS there. It's really eye-opening and very disappointing because the government has been solely complicit in replacing our Blackness with Africans. You know, the ones that sold us. The ones that allowed us to be stolen. Okay, so we were the bottom caste, many of us, in those countries. And so let's start with the fact that you got to stop lying to yourself. You don't descend from kings and queens. Most of us were bottom caste there. And we were slaves there. Now, maybe it wasn't chattel slavery. I don't know. I haven't researched it back that far. But the slavery over here was the most heinous in the world, as far as I know, until somebody can show me otherwise. And so as far as I'm concerned, we are Black immigrants' reparations. Why are your hands out for more? Africans come over here, they usually descend from dignitaries and slave traders. They have money. They've been educated in Africa, educated in London, and then they come here to capitalize on affirmative action entitlements that were due us. Black immigrants are, I think, 65% educated at the Ivy Leagues. That guess who built those Ivy Leagues? Our ancestors. They built those Ivy League colleges with their lives. And now, you know, over 60% of the graduates of these Ivy League institutions are Black immigrants, African immigrants predominantly. They're doing exceptionally well. There are around 2 million in this country, but they're in a far better wealth position than us. And I don't see any of them coming out for reparations. You guys want to sit up here and talk about Pan-Africanism. It seems to me like the American descendants of enslaved Africans are the only one practicing Pan-Africanism. That's what it seems like to me. I don't see Caribbean immigrants in droves, you know, riding with us for reparations. I don't see African immigrants riding for us for reparations, but I do see people like Joy Ann Reid getting in the way of reparations, like Roland Martin getting in the way of reparations. And now Kamala Harris getting in the way of reparations. This is why lineage matters, as Yvette often teaches us, right, family? Lineage matters. And if it didn't, this government wouldn't be complicit in giving entitlements that were due us to white women immigrants in the LGBTQ communities while we struggle to survive, while we struggle from the remnants of slavery, because the government wants us to eat that cost. They don't want to have to cut that check in the trillions over multi-generations. And so what do? They start working on replacing us with Black immigrants in every industry. Look at all the African British trained actors who are playing ADOS major roles, from Martin to Harriet. Now, what's the gentleman's name? He's going to be playing Fred Hampton. And guess what they do with the evil supporting roles that they oftentimes make up? They put ADOS in those roles to support the Black immigrant actors, the African immigrant actors, who star as us in our own experience. And folks want to drag me for talking against that. Well, for those of you who are new to my channel, buckle up, buttercup, because that's what I do. I talk about the puck-ish that's happening in this country and how everybody is in cahoots and coordination to annihilate us, to force us into extinction. And the government is the ringleader. So when I talk about the Black immigrants, I'm not talking about you to hurt your feelings. My beef ain't with you. You can't cut a check to me, not in the trillions that me and my people are owed. So get out your feelings. This is about me and the government, ADOS and the government. And our exposing the truths have nothing to do with not liking you. Being pro-ADOS is not anti-immigrant, and it's not pro-Trump. It is ADOS first for a change. We are throwing everybody else off the tit and making space for our reparations claim. And if you have a problem with that, that remains your problem, because we're not going anywhere. So like I was saying, we're being replaced across industries. Black immigrants have taken over nursing. Other groups too, but today I'm dealing with Black immigrants. Okay, because this is where we're having a huge chasm in Blackness here. But it's by design. If you read the articles about the ADOS in the New York Times and the Philadelphia Inquirer, they try to make us out to be xenophobic just because we're standing up proud and strong as American descendants of slavery. They don't like that we're woke. They want us to remain sheeple. We're done doing that. We've been rolling with Yvette Carnell, Antonio Moore, Jason Black. I don't really mess with him too much because he is just too much in a tirade all the time. Michi X, shout out to Michi X. She could be extra too. But I mean, we know who we are and we have found each other. And so we won't be silent. And we're going to continue to come hard until they cut the check. That's what we do. And so, yeah, they replaced us across industries, and their median wealth is double that of ours. Homes, I think they own down here in LA. I'm going to get to those stats. Let me just finish my thought. Lord, I'm all over the place. Forgive me, family. I'm just letting God use me, okay? It is what it is. Y'all know I love y'all Black and strong, because I know y'all love me too, because y'all roll with me. You've been rolling with me for a couple years now, and I'm grateful. I want to talk about Kamala Harris as I talk about how we're being replaced. Because I lost my ish for the past couple of days over Joe Biden choosing her as a running mate. Now, I've upset the ADOS movement because I really was working hard with my partner in the Friends of ADOS PAC. The name is changing, more details later, but I was really working to understand from his lens how we're not ready for a show up, vote Democratic down ballot strategy, meaning there's a couple of definitions behind Democratic down ballot. Democratic down ballot in many instances means everybody on the ticket that's Democrat, including the president and the VP. But we have a new definition, okay, for Democratic down ballot. For us, it means writing in ADOS for the president and now the VP, and then delivering a Democratic Congress to create gridlock for the next 4 years until the Democrats wake up and understand that a debt is owed. It's time for them to pay. Now, while I'm on that, I get a lot of flack because I go hard. I give the Democrats that work in that business. Why? Because we've been their mules for 54 something odd years, 60 years, I don't know. All I know is that we've been trained like lap dogs to show up and vote blue no matter who, no matter that it goes against your own interest. Just show up and be the sheeple you are. Don't ask any questions. Be glad that you don't have a Donald Trump, that the Republicans aren't lording over you. Well, how many of you know your history? How many of you know that the Democrats were the ones to take away the 40 acres and a mule? It was the Republicans, Abe Lincoln, shout out to you, that gave us the 40 acres and a mule. He was assassinated, and Andrew Johnson, the Democrat, took away the 40 acres and a mule and gave us Freedmen's Bureau Bank and allowed his white cohorts to pillage that storehouse, stole all our wealth. Then in addition to Tulsa, they burned all of our Black Wall Streets, about 50, because of course, they wouldn't treat us in the hospitals, okay? They wouldn't sell groceries to us. They wouldn't retail to us or treat us. So we were the brilliance that we are and created it over and over and over and over and over again. I don't have that many overs in me. That is the ilk we are born from, creators. And the Democrats and the Republicans allowed the KKK and the oppressors in the South, our former slaveholders after emancipation, they pulled out the Union troops and left us to lynchings and burning down our buildings and burning down our homes and doing what white folk do. In case you didn't know, now you know. So all the wealth you see in this country, that's ADOS. Our ancestors did that. Cotton was king to the tune of 42 trillion. That's my ancestors, your ancestors, ADOS. Be proud of that, okay? So, we've had a Black Congress after emancipation. Yvette shared about this yesterday. I took a snapshot and shared it on my Facebook. We've been here since 1619, 401 years. And Kamala Harris and Barack Obama. Let's start with him first. White and Kenyan parents. No to reparations. He is a descendant of slave owners. But he looked like us, right? So we fell for it. Oh, a Black man. Flattening blackness. A Black man Oh my God. I'm crying. I'm bawling. My daughter thinks I'm nuts. He won. I'm getting tickets to go to the inauguration, going out there in the freezing cold, damn near lost fingers and toes. Didn't do squat first 4 years. It cost us 43% of our wealth in the Black community when he bailed out Wall Street. But give him a chance. It took Bush to drive it into the ground for 8 years. Obama needs 8 years. Give him a chance. I did that. Y'all did that. Another term for the Black man, right, family? And when he left office, we were worse off than we were when he came into office. The Black man that we all ran and voted for, who is the sole reason why this fight for reparations and a Black agenda is the hardest to give birth to ever in life. Because the Black man said no. What about the other groups? How will they feel about it? So what makes you think that white folks are going to be willing to give us repair when the first Black president, not ADOS president, was a no to our reparations because it would hurt the other group's feelings to pay us the debt we are owed for slavery, Jim Crow, and accrued ongoing systemic racism, oppression, and disadvantage. You see, it's not like slavery ended, family. Slavery is still going on. Convict leasing to private prison industrial complex. These states are getting $25,000 a bed. That's why they're locking up ADOS everywhere. For moving violations, for not paying your traffic tickets that you can't afford to pay. Because they're singling you out in your own communities. And so you don't have the jobs, nor the salary to pay these tickets. So you got to go to debtor's prison. That's really what it is. You don't have money for bail. Lots of us are in there for nonviolent offenses because we can't afford bail. $25,000 a bed, private prisons, while they pay ADOS $1 a day, maybe, and put us in horrific conditions. Check out Prison Song on Netflix. It's an old BET movie, but it's very relevant and very much today about how we get trapped in the system, how there's been a preschool to prison pipeline established just for us. You don't see Black immigrants in these prisons like that, do you? Of course not. Because government has been complicit and continuing to ensure we are on the bottom, because you need someone on the bottom when you're in capitalism. And they have chosen us. Okay? So anywho, Obama, we fell for that. Then we got educated. And here comes Kamala Skiwi Bison Harris on Martin Luther King's birthday, announcing her run for the presidency. And because we had been studying with the brilliant Yvette Carnell, we knew how to check that record. We didn't know. I didn't know. I'm going to speak for myself. I'm going to tell my story, okay? I'm not going to speak for no one else. I had no idea. All I knew was that we were on the bottom. Bernie Sanders was running, and I decided to be a part of his campaign. And I saw Yvette on a Boyce Watkins show, and I thought, who is this? Who is this brilliant woman? Because everything she said was resonating and landing with me, and I started studying from 2014 with her, and she taught me about how to be self-interested as an American descendant of slavery. She made a hashtag of Martin Luther King label, American descendants of slavery, and where do we go from here? But she, in all her cleverness, made it a hashtag. And we made it a movement. Okay? But she started showing us Kamala's record. How up in the Bay, she would not prosecute Steve Mnuchin of One West Bank at the time for wrongful foreclosure on ADOS homes. But she sure did make a home for them in the prisons. She likes to go on the campaign trail and act like these people that she imprisoned were hardened criminals. No, they weren't. They were weed peddlers, mostly. Nonviolent offenders who couldn't afford bail, who couldn't afford proper representation. That's who she put in jail. Antonia Moore has a great video with one of the mothers. Her name is Cherie. I can't recall her last name. I have to finish watching it. But Cherie had a daughter who struggled with sickle cell, while Kamala Harris laughingly came up with policies to put mothers in jail for their truant children. And so Cherie was taken out of her bed in her pajamas and arrested and had to go to jail, I think, for 200 days. Something really outlandish. Yeah. Y'all's black girl. Y'all black girl magic. Kamala. That y'all want me to just show up and vote for after she has been one of the ringleaders behind Jim Crow crime bill author Joe. She calls herself Cali's top cop. That ain't a name I gave her. That's the name she nicknamed herself, tough on crime. To our peril up in the Bay. Arresting mothers for truant children without digging down into why or giving them the resources to help them ensure the kids got to school on time. She laughed on Charlemagne the God's show, Breakfast Club, about smoking weed. It was a disgrace to her father. He wrote an article about it. Look it up. I don't have time to go into it here. But he was mortified that she would sit up there and joke about smoking weed as she threw the book at folks who smoke weed. They were in jail in the Bay. Okay? Mitrice Richardson, Yvette Carnell Breaking Brown did a 2-hour show with the father of Mitrice Richardson. She was a sister that went to Malibu for dinner and had a bipolar episode. I talked about it on the last show, but look up the story. Basically, Kamala Harris weaponized, I'm going to call it murder, because those racist cops released her to her own devices around 2 a.m. After telling her mother that they would hold her until the following morning because her mother tried to go get her and they told her no. They left her. They let her loose. They let her out of prison. She didn't have a phone. She didn't have a car. She didn't have any way to access anyone. And a few weeks later, they found her body. So it's murder to me because the cops were in charge of her. Kamala Harris literally weaponized the death of Mitrice Richardson to win the senatorial race, and afterwards told her father and her mom there was nothing to see here in terms of prosecuting the officers that let her loose that night. Kamala Harris, there's a birth certificate circulating on Facebook that I shared in all spaces that I could, where her mother, brown, Brahmin, Indian caste, identified as Caucasian on Kamala's birth certificate in the Bay, County of Alameda. I think it's Oakland. It's circulating. So y'all want to sit up here and talk about black girl magic while not wanting to deal with unflattening Blackness so you can see yourselves and where your people are in this country. Because it's convenient for you to be in benign neglect than it is for you to give up your time and your resources to get in this fight with ADOS. You'd rather sit up here and drag me for exposing the truth than to get in this fight and do something about it. So when you're talking Brahmin caste, for those of you who don't know, that's white in India. As a matter of fact, I shared in my feed, it may have been a snapshot from Yvette's show, I can't recall. I'd just be snapping and sharing, and I'd be doing so much in Facebook. I just get into like this Facebook hypnotizing kind of zone when I'm over there. I literally have not been over there today because I know what I posted up there last night, early this morning, is pissing folks off. I don't give a damn. Anywho, back to my story. I get a little sidetracked, family. Just bear with me. I am going somewhere with this. What time are we at? Oh my God, I only got 20 minutes to read y'all's comments. Okay, let me hurry up. I don't like to hold y'all longer than an hour because I thank you for your time. I don't want to be abusive, but this might go a little longer. If you can hang with me, just please try. As a matter of fact, I don't even think I can hang. Lord, I got a mani-pedi appointment. Okay, let me try to finish this within the hour. I will, if I don't get to your comments, please put your comments and your questions in the chat after the show uploads in all spaces. I'll be able to go back and answer you, okay? But I got to get this out. It's heavy on me. I may have to do a part 2 because I do have to leave in about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. So anywho, Brahmin caste is white, okay? I posted, like I said, let me catch up with my thoughts. I was sharing about how I took a snapshot of something where an Indian woman says, we don't identify as Black. Don't trust this woman. Someone from her ilk, from her lineage, said she is weaponizing Blackness to win the VP race and to win Black votes. And the sheeple are riding me for the deception in the games Kamala Harris is playing, trying to pass herself off as ADOS. And now that she's got what she came for, akin to what happened with my trees, she's telling the truth about her Indian roots. All of a sudden, she's being recognized as our first Indian Asian VP. Because she used that Black card. She ski-weed her way all the way to the VP nod. Okay? She played the Black busing pain. Okay, when she was on that debate stage with Joe Biden, Jim Crow Joe. She played that, I was that child that had to be bussed, and you were a segregationist, and Oscar Award winning to get all the ADOS, the lineage, sheeple to run out and vote blue no matter who. Tangibles be damned. Your people dying disproportionately from COVID be damned. Your people being redlined into environmentally hazardous tenement housings be damned. Your people being robbed of education be damned. Your people being robbed of jobs and an American wage be damned. Your people be damned, they have no health care. Let them die. Your people be damned that they can't educate their children. Your people be damned that they can't bail out of the private prisons. Your people be damned when they put their knee on your neck for 8 minutes, 46 seconds. Your people be damned if they come up in your house because they want to gentrify your community and murder you in your own bed. Your people be damned if you're executed while jogging, while Black. Your people be damned If you're trying to sleep your drunk off in the Wendy's drive-through line. Just give me a minute, family. Excuse me. It can be too much, family. I don't know how to not feel this. I don't know how to not feel it. I'm sorry. I'll do better the next show. So, the ADOS movement are the wind beneath my wings. They are my reason. ADOS people at large to get out of bed and keep fighting. I am not okay with being a unicorn, and you shouldn't be either. Those are our people. And we're fortunate because many of us live in higher end communities and don't have to suffer this. You're blessed. But I'm not into self-individualism. Never have been. My daddy taught me about my blackness. He taught me early about the power in being ADOS. He didn't term it that, of course. We didn't have that term when I was growing up. But he taught me Black pride. He taught me that my beauty is a gift from God. My heart and my love for my people come from him. He bucked the system. And we see what happens to people that buck the system. You don't get a biscuit when you buck the system. So you got these folks, these Black immigrants, weaponizing ADOSness to get your vote because we're still 90% of the Blacks in this country. They're caping hard for your vote. And you have to grow a backbone because the boomers want you to continue to vote blue no matter who, to your own peril. Not all, but most. And I was almost there. I was going to hold my nose to vote for Biden because all of a sudden, my Black vote that didn't put Trump in office, the Democrats needed to unseat him. So don't make demands, Angela. You're crazy for demanding reparations in exchange for your vote. You're never going to get reparations. Well, thank God our ancestors didn't listen to the idiots that told them they would never be free. God is bigger than the racism and these devils that are running this country. I stand on my square that my efforts will be met with reparations. and a Black agenda. Not this election cycle. But I'm going to continue, as is the ADOS movement, to lean in. This is an ADOS rising. We don't care what you call us. We are self-interested now that we know. Kamala is white because the color of white in this country is green. Ask the Irish, ask the Jews, ask the Latinos. Get used to the new white, or at least your new understanding of how white runs in this country. She is a white woman and brown skin, the same as Obama was a white man in brown skin. You don't get reared by white mama and white grandparents and turn out Black. You don't get reared by a brown Indian Brahmin caste woman who identifies as Caucasian on your birth certificate and not be a white Indian. I don't care if your daddy was Jamaican. You're a white Black woman to me. We have a lot of Black white elitists running around here pretending to be ADOS to put you to sleep. So you will continue with their agenda to keep you on the bottom as the legs of the table everyone else eats from. Obama was no different. Kamala's no different. A Biden-Kamala ticket is the same as Obama-Biden. Would have been the same as Hillary and Tim Kaine. And I don't know what makes y'all think when white women owned us as tough as white men, that they are going to be for a Black female VP over one of their own getting the VP first. That ain't the pecking order. And I don't know how y'all gonna win over the progressives who hate Kamala too. You're dealing with a woman who came in fourth in her own state because of her puck-ish, okay? The only money she had was Clinton money, Hillary Clinton's people, her donors. So when she gets in office and Joe Biden has to sit down due to dementia, who do you think she's going to be the puppet for? Crooked Hillary. Yeah. She is going to be doing all of the puck-ish that was going to happen under Hillary Clinton. Because that's where her money come from. Black folks weren't giving her money. Tulsi Gabbard exposed her record. She was probably somewhere fishing around, on our videos, putting it together. We're everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, giving them the business. We gave her that business and it set her back. But you see how this works, family? You see how this works? They found another way to get her in there despite us being complicit in defeating her because they're giving us the middle finger. They don't care about us because we have no capital. And when you have no money in politics, you're on the menu, not at the table. That is by design. Just like it's by design, I got 6 minutes, Lord have mercy. Just like it's by design that 40% of us rely on government assistance. Don't you let these ignorant people out here try to convince you somehow that ADOS are lazy. We've simply been locked out of access to the white capital we created. White folks share $100 trillion, 90% of ADOS share, they say, 300 to 700 billion. I really don't know. But I know it's abysmal to have $100 trillion egregious racial wealth gap, and the only solution to close it is reparations in the trillions over multi-generations. Kamala Harris said from the door, she ain't doing nothing specifically for Black folks, no, as she clutched her invisible skiwi bison pearls, okay? But I am supposed to vote blue no matter who, against the interest of the ADOS. Y'all want us to fall for that trick bag yet again. The sheeple, oh honey, jumping up and down for joy over Kamala Harris being chosen as a VP. While their people get pushed further and further to the bottom. Because they're okay. They're the unicorns. They ski-wee right alongside Kamala. Oh, the pink and the green were in rare form yesterday in the Facebook spaces as I lost my entire shit. Yes, I did. I blew it up. But she and that pic was the reason why I can't pinch my nose. Now, ADOS is encouraging you to join us in this protest vote. When we all stand up, it will be game over, right? So we're asking you to join us by showing up or mailing in your ballot. Put in ADOS for the president, ADOS for the VP, and let's deliver a Democratic Congress and let the chips fall where they may for the president and the VP. That's my square final answer. Because the definition of insanity is continuing to do the same thing to expect a different result. Kamala has no Black agenda. And class-based policies don't fix race. I'm not for her, nor Biden, nor Bernie divvying up what's due us. I'm not for all these billionaires being bailed out with COVID relief and you telling us, no, you don't have the trillions you owe us. I'm not for our trillions being used to fix everybody, because when everybody rises, where is ADOS? Still on the bottom. Right, family? We're done being the legs of the table everybody else eats from. Black immigrants, we see you. We see you using us for the come up and then trying to silence us for our come up and trying to crowbar in on our come up. But ADOS will have none of it. We're everywhere. NAACP, the CBC, National Urban League, the NAACP, NARC, and COBRA, infiltrating and giving all y'all that business. That's how the ADOS does it. And I love y'all so much, because when I get tired in those Facebook spaces, I see you guys pulling up the rear. Robin Freelix, Dawn Page, Alexis Cunningham, Tansy Flakes, Asan Powell. These are all my newfound. Travis Johnson. Too many to name. If I can't name you, just charge it to my head and not my heart. But I love y'all so much. I thank you for picking up the mantle for me when I get tired and weary in my spaces, combating the ignorance. We have to remember, family, many of the people who are now getting hip to ADOS don't even really know who we are. As big as we think we are, we're really small still. We're not that big. I'm going to try to remember that, because I tend to go off. Okay? And I'm encouraging you guys to be more educational. I've been called many a name, and I have to remember they don't know who I am. They don't know who we are. So I'm imploring upon each of you to become teachers in this space. Use this as an opportunity. Don't get mad. Educate. Spread the word. I am one of the founding members, proud founding member of ADOS SoCal. We went through a rough patch down here, but we still here and we're building. And so if you want to join me in my ADOS SoCal chapter, come on. We need everybody, all hands on deck. Visit us at ADOSSoCal1619 @gmail.com. That's ADOSSoCal @gmail.com. We also have a Facebook page, ADOS SoCal. We're in the Twitter spaces. We're in the IG. Hit us up. We would love to have you on our team. And if you need information on how to help build the chapter near you, hit me up at ADOSSoCal1619 @gmail, and I'll plug you into some of the finest, beautifulest, is that a word? Brilliant ADOS in this country. They're powerhouses and you need to get with them. Okay, family, so I'm at my hour mark. I hate to leave, but I'm going to do a part 2 because I didn't even get to get into my data. I just needed to talk, family. I just needed to, this Kamala Harris piece set me back. Okay, and I needed to talk to y'all. Family to family. I needed to cry with y'all, apparently. Didn't mean to go there. I try to be strong. But this stuff brings me to my knees when I think about the ADOS and I have to walk over ADOS in the streets. It breaks my entire heart because all I can do is say a silent prayer as I give what I have. Sometimes I say it aloud. I'm working on your reparations. That's what I say silently. You could say that as a prayer when you pass the ADOS less fortunate. They are there because of this government, because of institutional systemic racism. Check out Prison Song on Netflix. I'm also going to be recommending a book for us to read. I'm going to be doing some Yvette stuff because I love the way she gets down. So I'm kind of mirroring her out of admiration, you know. Not stealing, but I love what she does. I love what she did for me and what she's done for the ADOS movement. We've had our differences. Any of y'all know she wasn't a fan of my PAC. We've moved on. We're still doing PAC, okay? Don't get it twisted. You can still give at friendsofados.com. We need a Congress that's full-chested about our reparations and Black agenda, or we will never get it if we don't replace who's in there. But there's some powerful things I want to bring to you, family. And we need to read what's happening, okay, on the backhand side of government. We need to understand this so we can strategize. Okay, family, enough of that. Let me pray us out. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever ADOS and its allies are, God truly is, because you are the face of God. You are the voice of God. You are the body temple of the Spirit of the living God. Until tomorrow, family, when I'll be back with more facts about unflattening blackness, you make it a beautiful, God-inspired rest of your day. I love you, Black. I love you, strong. Bye, family.